Hooray for Hollywood. We are back at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and today you're going to be able to find some smiles inside according to Walgreens. That's where I got these photos printed, using some photos once again from our good friends over at Retro WDW. We're going to match up the photos here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hi everybody, and welcome to the World of Micah. That's right, once again we're going to be visiting a Disney park. We're going to be comparing photos to what it looks like current day. These photographs are from our good friends over at Retro WDW. This is going to be from opening year here at the Disney-MGM Studios. I believe it was right after opening in 1989. This is going to be a lot of fun. Now, let's take a closer look. Oh wow, this is interesting. You can walk straight ahead. Normally they have this barricaded off and you would have to go over here to the tents for temperature screening. Since they're no longer doing temperature screening, you can go straight ahead right through security. All right, the first photo is right here. You can see it said Disney-MGM Studios up top. Then they went in and changed that later on, but this was a brand new park, the Disney-MGM Studios, the second real working studio in Central Florida. Right down the street was Universal Studios. That was opening the next year. This was the very first one right here, and this is what it looks like current day, Disney's Hollywood Studios. But for the most part, it has not really changed, you know? Now in this photograph you can see families buying their tickets for the day, but I don't know why they would. The park was about to close. You can see the lights were turned on, or maybe this was an early morning. I'm guessing it's an early morning. Who knows what time of day this photo was taken. All I know is the lights were on at the entrance, but it was taken right here. Good evening, Bo. You were here opening day, I'm sure. A lot has changed in this place, hasn't it? Yep, it's good to see you, man. I know, you almost didn't recognize me because I'm not wearing a mask. It's pretty crazy times we're living in, right, buddy? All right, man, I gotta get going. And right here is Oscar's Super Service, back when they had an actual vehicle in front of the gas station. They have removed the vehicle from the gas station, but for the most part, cosmetically, Oscar's Super Service looks the same. It's a pretty cool car they had. It would sit right over there in front of the gas pumps. I remember them having a lot more cars like that all around the park, you know. Not sure when they got rid of a lot of those cars. But this car is here. The truck is still here. Oscar's truck is still here, but the vehicle that was getting gas has been removed. I also noticed the sign right below the Super Service, right above those two cast members that are walking. They have changed that as well here. And now we're going to walk across to Sid Hingis for a pretty cool photo I found. And the photo took place right here. The lady was sitting and reading her book. I'm not sure if that was Sid's wife or not, but she was sitting right there. It's really cool because the dog is still here after all these years. Now looking back at the photograph, the light is different right here, but that dog is right there, and she would have been sitting right here. And they had what looks like magazines on a little cart right over here. Was also noticing Sid's mailbox no longer exists. But looking back at that photograph, this is pretty much the only thing that remains up here. Up next is Keystone Clothers, which is the Hollywood fashion building. Not a whole lot has changed on Keystone Clothers, the Hollywood fashion store. As you can see, I'm seeing a sign on the right-hand side, a pole that has been removed. But not much has really changed, like I said. This is one of the only buildings here that cosmetically hasn't taken a whole bunch of a facelift. Interesting enough, we have two photos of Hollywood fashions, the Keystone Clothers. Now the benches no longer sit here. They do use the same type of benches, as you can see. This is what it looks like current day. The guest experience team is across the way on the blue tent there, and you can see a family sitting in a bench. But in this photograph, you can see there's a trash can here, 2 benches that were right there. Bench is still here. There used to be another one here. And it looks like they had an A-frame sign in front of the building right over here. It's cool to see how this tree, see how it goes to the left there and goes straight up. Still does. That's amazing. That tree has been here since the opening year. And also, looking at the plants in front of the store, those 2 plants are still right over there. Incredible. The next spot is right over here next to the old Min and Bill's Dockside Diner. Now it's just known as the Dockside Diner, the SS down the hatch. I did a video talking about how this used to be Min and Bill's Dockside Diner, as you can see on this crate. If you want to check out that video, the link's up above. Gertie the dinosaur, you can see Indiana Jones in the distance. And there used to be a huge water fountain. They have since changed that and put an island out in the middle of Echo Lake. This is what it looks like current day. The boat still looks the same. Gertie no longer has ice cream, the letters spelling out ice cream on her back. And that's the island I'm talking about. Right over here, that's where the old fountain used to be. But in the photograph you see the rope here and that little circular, it's very windy. See the rope and the circular thing still there. It's right there. How cool is that? But the letters right there on the back of Gertie no longer exist. And joining us today we have Chip and Dale, Minnie Mouse, followed by Pluto and Mickey Mouse. This next photo is also taking place on Echo Lake. Look at the top right-hand side of the photograph. You can see a palm tree. Well, that palm tree is still here. This is it. And it's gotten quite large in the past 30 some odd years. How crazy is that? Right here is where this photograph was taken. You can see a better view of that fountain I was talking about. Across the way is Hollywood and Vine restaurant. And you can see some of the buildings from Hollywood Boulevard. Pretty wild. This is where that photograph was taken. And it's crazy to see just how large this palm tree has gotten since 1989. Now this is probably going to be my favorite one of the day, one of my favorites of the day, the old Disney-MGM archway that led you into the original backlot tour. Not a whole lot has changed as far as shapes of things, and I'll get to that in just a moment. The only thing that's really changed is the Disney-MGM Studios logo on the archway. This is what it looks like current day. Now let's dive into what it used to look like and kind of pinpoint what has changed and what is still here. On the pole right there you can see a little sign that used to sit right there. No longer is here. It has been removed. In fact, I can kind of see the little circle where it used to be. Right next to the little kid right there, there used to be a bench, a park bench, that no longer exists here in the park. And then further investigating this area, there's a popcorn stand right here in the photograph. That popcorn stand is right here. Still exists to this day. Now let's get closer up to the arches. You can kind of see what is new and what is original. It used to be green, now it's more of a khaki, and the lights on both sides of the arch is original. That's really cool. That tile is original, it's just been repainted. You can see them right there in the photograph. Now in between, you can see the building that now is the Star Wars launch bay, but it used to be the backlot tour. There was a banner there for that, and these light poles on either side are still here. There's one there and one right there. Now behind the popcorn stand, this wall is fully original. They have not touched this since it has opened. None of this has been touched except for with a paintbrush, and obviously the Disney Hollywood Studios has replaced the Disney-MGM Studios. Now obviously I had to throw this in. The great movie ride, right? Had to throw it in, especially since they've gotten rid of the Star Wars stage and the Sorcerer Mickey hat that used to sit here. This is what the great movie ride looked like around opening day, opening year, and this is what Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway currently looks like. You can see on either side it used to say the great movie ride. Did not have the neon light for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway there in the center. But it's still the Chinese theater after all these years. Now this next one is kind of funny. You can't help but think of Star Wars when you think of Disney's Hollywood Studios. But when the Disney-MGM Studios first opened, there was not a Star Wars attraction open just yet. This did not open until December of 1989. You can see the walls are still up. And they were still working on Star Tours. The cool thing about this is you can line everything up with that lamp right there, that light, I guess. I almost call it a lamp, a light pole, I guess you could say. That's pretty cool. Still here. The trees over there are completely blocking the AT-AT or AT-AT, depending on what you call it. And on the entrance, there used to be the attraction poster right above my thumb. They have removed that when they added the Trials of the Temple stage. But the walls used to be right here next to the indoor forest. You can see some of the trees. That's pretty cool. That means this pole right here is from 1989. That's kind of cool. That's how I'm figuring these things out. What is original and what is new. Also, this tree right here, this Christmas tree, that's a form of a Christmas tree, is right there to the left of this pole. That thing has grown. All right, next photo is going to be down here on Grand Avenue, which is the former home of the Streets of America. This is what used to be where I'm standing and looking at. New York Street, as they called it. Obviously, you guys know this no longer exists here. Little bits of Streets of America still remain. But right here is where this was taken. Probably the most drastic out of all the comparisons we've done today. Good old Streets of America. That is pretty crazy. The only thing that really remains of Streets of America is Grand Avenue right here. Even the side of the entrance that goes into Muppets has changed tremendously. That's always makes me laugh. That's what we used to have right there. And do not worry, you guys, I'm gonna do a thorough Streets of America video very soon. We'll have a special guest with me, a good friend of mine. I'm sure you guys can already guess. But it's gonna happen, and it's gonna be epic, and it's gonna be amazing. Good things come to those who wait. Now, doing some further investigating on this photograph, you guys see that little tiny Coca-Cola sign that used to sit right over here, which was where the rider stop used to be. That's where that is right there. So all the facade and everything was right in this area. We would be right where those folks are standing, right there. And then that little curb is right there. Pretty epic, if you ask me. This next one is kind of a doozy for those who don't know. Did you know, right here is one of the largest hidden Mickeys in all of Walt Disney World? It's true. This is Disney's Hollywood Studios. Right down here, the mouth is the Great Movie Ride. Where I'm currently standing is the nose. You have Mickey's eyes. One ear is the Echo Lake area. The next ear is our next subject. There used to be a stage right next to where the Starbucks is, and that later on would turn into Sunset Boulevard, but not until July of 1994. You have the crossroads in Hollywood Boulevard right there. Mickey Mouse. We are standing right there in Mickey's nose. So looking right down here, Mickey's eyes are these little gray patches you see. Mickey's ear over there, Mickey's ear, this is Mickey's nose, and the courtyard area is Mickey's mouth. Pretty epic, and even on the top of this building they painted it black in a circular kind of shape to make the other ear. Now, current day, it's not as much of a hidden Mickey anymore. Things have been removed, things have been updated, things have been kind of shifted around. But for the most part, it's still a hidden Mickey. Now, let's go and find where this stage was and see exactly what it looked like. Look at all the little baby ducks. They're heading over to the former Theater of the Stars. Now, this theater had a show called Hollywood, a star-studded spectacular from May 1st to August 31st, 1989. Then it had Dick Tracy, starring in Diamond Double Cross, from May 21st, 1990 to February 1991. And then they had a Hollywood's Pretty Woman show. That's right, Pretty Woman. Yes, the Pretty Woman movie you're thinking of. I can't get over these little baby ducks. One of them got popcorn. But we're gonna head over to the theater that used to sit right over there. Right here is where it was. This is where the theater was for many years, until they did the demolition and started doing the construction for Sunset Boulevard that would open in July of 1994. Pretty crazy. A Dick Tracy show was on there, a Pretty Woman show was on there. Kind of outrageous if you think about it. Like, you could come here and watch a show right here and then come back, you know, 3 or 4 years later, and this is what you would see. Talk about mind-blowing. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So where we are standing is right there where my finger is. That's this building here. Which means to the left would have been the theater right here, and you guys can see behind that would go straight down Sunset Boulevard. None of this was here. Like, none of this. The only thing that was here was the Brown Derby. So the top of the Brown Derby, that right there is the Brown Derby, and the top of that building is Mickey's ear, which is that building right back there, the blue building, which is the Disney Junior building. So yeah, the theater would have been right over here. Decided to come over here and do this to show you just how much has kind of changed too. The ear is right there. This ear is right here. And the theater would have been right there. You can kind of see where Mickey's, his little forehead and his eyes, and that's his mouth, that's his nose, that's his mouth. Unbelievable. And this would have been the end of the evening right here, looking down Hollywood Boulevard at the giant Mickey crossroads of the world. To the far right, you can see Keystone Clothers. You can see Pluto there. Everything was all lit up. The day was over. This is what it looks like current day. The Hollywood that never was and will always be. You know, every time I come to this place, I always like to look at this little marker from the Disney-MGM Studios. May 1st, 1989, the world you have entered was created by the Walt Disney Company and is dedicated to Hollywood. Not a place on the map, but a state of mind that exists wherever people dream and wonder and imagine. A place where illusion and reality are fused by technological magic. We welcome you to a Hollywood that never was and will always be. And this, my friends, is my favorite theme park of all time. By the way, if you're always wondering what this statue is, there's a plaque here. It's called the Cameraman. This is from 1995, I believe that says. Movies are a medium of expression like a symphony orchestra or a painter's brush and canvas. Mr. Walt Disney. Special shout out to Retro WDW once again for allowing me to use some of their photographs in today's episode. If you haven't, visit their website and their YouTube channel. The links are going to be down below in the description box. You guys know what to do. Head over there and tell them I sent you. This was a lot of fun. I'm so happy we got to do this. I've been wanting to do a video like this for quite some time. Show you guys some photographs of what this place really looked like when it first opened. And all the photographs you saw in today's episode will be sent out to my Secret Society Club member, my Patreon page. The link for that is at the very end of this video if you would like to become a supporter of the World of Micah. For those of you who do support in a certain tier, you will be receiving one of these photos in the mail. But that's gonna do it from Hollywood land. I believe our adventure for today has come to an end. This was a very, very, very fun adventure. I had fun, I hope you had fun. But our adventure for today has come to an end, like I said. Which means
it's time to say goodbye, folks.
Bo, thank you very much. It is time to say goodbye. I will see you guys on the next adventure of World of Micah. Once again, thank you. Thank you so much, Retro WDW, for all your help with these photographs for episodes just like this. See you guys next time. Stay weird. Goodbye.